Welcome back, everybody. It's Rudy with Alpha Investments. Time has a funny thing of really distorting how we remember things. And today we're just going to hold hands together. We're going to walk through the park, give each other hugs, and just kind of talk about the past. This video today has no real purpose, no real message or anything. I just want, for a lot of you who weren't around literally 20 to 23 years ago doing this stuff, I want to share some things and what I remember, what brought me to Magic to get me to start doing this stuff. And a lot of it came back to these old magazines, the old Inquest. You guys probably see them in a lot of my videos. I usually have a lot of them because they're nostalgia. They hit you where the feels. They get you in the stomach. And, you know, I just don't think a lot of people realize where this stuff came from, what the real history is. And thought it's a beautiful night in the fourth quarter holidays. That was a good time to just relax. I want to share some stuff with everybody. So this magazine of Inquest is from June of 1997, okay? They have a top 10 trading card games that the writers of the magazine, what they feel is the future of collectible card games by the staff. And it was interesting because when you look at this stuff, you see number 10 on the top 10, a card game called Wrath, the Oblivion. Never heard of it. You've got another one. You've got all these Chaosium. Never heard of it. Robo Rally. Looking at you, Richard Garfield. You know, you look at this stuff. The super-powered role-playing game, comic book game. Okay. Netrunner. I know a lot of you guys remember that. Now this is an interesting one. Number 5. Right here. Settlers of Catan. You know, that's really funny. I didn't even know Settlers of Catan was around in 1997. It says it was released in the fall of 1995. What's funny is that it came out. Apparently it's always been around and always been a thing since like the Civilization video games on the computer. But I guess it became really big 20 years later. In the late 2000s, it exploded. So I had no idea Settlers of Catan was around that long. The original versions, and they rated that just as successful in the future as D&D, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And then the game they rated even better was a board game, card game called Diplomacy. Never heard of it. Now listen to this, everybody. Number 2, Middle Earth, the board game and card game. I remember that one. Never played it. And of course, number 1, Magic the Gathering. Listen to this, everybody. Tracking it down, tracking the game down, claim to fame, the world's first fully collectible card game. Late summer of 93, the crew at the editors at Inquest magazine spent 5 months tracking down a single pack of Magic the Gathering in 1993. That's how hard they were to find Alpha, Beta, Unlimited in that time. Once we got a chance, we couldn't wait for a chance to play Air Elementals, Fireballs, and Circle of Protections. Not only were we wrong, the game was better than we expected. To say we played more hours of Magic than any other game ever, is an understatement. From playing fun theme decks full of giant monsters and animals and pirates, to trying to play at a tournament level. Wow, sure, Magic has its faults. This is what they rate as the fault of Magic the Gathering. Tons and tons of rule changes. But with new expansion sets, adding a wealth of cool cards and a million different variants to play Magic, Magic the Gathering has single-handedly revolutionized the gaming world. You know? And when I look at this stuff, you guys, like, they're advertising the new Portal. Look at this, the new Weatherlight set. Look at this stuff. And you know what's funny is there's no mythic rares. There's no foils. There's no hurry up, you have 24 hours to buy this limited special card from corporate. There's no special Timmy editions. There's no deluxe edition. It's just literally people excited, waiting months and months for one new Magic expansion to come out. That was it. That was literally it. In the entire year of 1995, you literally had Ice Age, a Chronicles reprint, and Homelands. That's it. There wasn't a product coming out every couple weeks. There wasn't a new spoiler season happening every 3 to 4 or 5 weeks where people have to hop on the hype train and go crazy. What a flippin' time, man. A time when alliances, Force of Will, Uncommon, $2. Lion's Eye Diamond, Mirage, $6. You know? Fallen Empires, tons of $3 to $5 cards. It just, there's really times where I can't believe how far and how much things have changed. And I don't think people really know anymore that this was actually how Magic was printed and distributed and talked about. This is what it was about. I mean, this was really, Library of Alexandria, $70. Bazaar of Baghdad. Oh my God, Bazaar of Baghdad, $12. $12, everybody. $12. Unbelievable, Unbelievable. And I got a good one for everybody. I got a good one for y'all. Those y'all sorting cards and relaxing. Tabernacle. Legends. $18. $18 in June of 1997. Just absolutely blows my mind. Most expensive card in 4th edition. Force in Nature, $10. I'm sorry. Shivan Dragon, $12. Mishra's Workshop, $20. I think the point of me just relaxing today and talking to you all is a couple things. I think we are so far beyond what originally happened in the prices and the cost of Magic. The way the culture of Magic has changed with this social media, the approved, the unapproved, the politics involved, the whole system of the way, what they call influencers, content creators, and the way these crowds and cliques and who's, popular or famous and not, and these leagues and special things. And I don't think Magic was really supposed to originally be that way. I don't think anybody had a clue. You guys want to see something funny? Paul and Judy's Coins and Cards. PJCC.com. I guarantee the website doesn't even exist. Don't go there. It might be an adult website. Who knows now? That was the company I remember using. I remember getting a free catalog in the mail and calling them with my parents' credit card. I paid my parents cash, and then my parents would call them, use a credit card. And I remember ordering 1 box of Stronghold, 1 box of Tempest, 1 box of Alliances. And I think they were $50 or $59.99 a box or something. I remember paying, it was like $60, maybe $65 a box. But that was how, and look, there's a Troll and Toad! Troll and Toad, man! I really think it's important to understand sometimes of how far back and how complicated in the history of this stuff really is. I don't think it's appreciated. And I really, many, many late nights, like this video right here, like 2 a.m, I don't think anybody remembers anymore. I think this kind of stuff truly is going to be lost to the culture of all this stuff as the years go by. I'm going to show you guys the other funny ones. Crack you up. Anybody remember these things? A dead man's hand. There's even tacos on the side of the page. Isn't that funny? And then they would talk about rules and things that were complicated in the world of Magic. You know, they would talk about these fancy decks, crazy vintage decks back then, which were not called vintage. It was just a Magic deck. There was no vintage or anything like that. That really wasn't. And they would just talk about the new Magic sets. They would just talk about the cards and the basic stuff. And I guess the point of talking about all this to you all is, you know, I don't know where things are going to go. I don't know if Magic was originally intended to go in this direction. I don't think anybody does. You know, I don't think, you know, like they always say, and I know what people are going to say, well, Rudy, at the same time, Magic wasn't designed for people like you to invest tons of money in the product. And I think that's true too. I don't think it was designed for that. You know? But I do think that it's scarier now than it used to be. Because the amount of money and the amount of products and the way the cultural movement of the way products are pushed, in the way we're supposed to like emotionally and psychologically react to spoiler season, to the new product. Secret fancy, we're going to make it dramatic and make a surprise. Or a mystery, the new mystery era of mystery boxes, loot boxes, random, you know, it's so amazing how we've evolved to this direction that no matter who you are, none of us saw this coming. There's no way any of us can say, old man Rudy, I knew. Because old man Rudy here, I didn't know. Nobody really knew. And I know a lot of people are just saying, Rudy, you were really fortunate to see this stuff the way you did. Maybe born at the right place, the right time. Maybe, not quite the right place. Maybe West Coast, that would have been a little bit better because I'd have had access to Magic earlier. You know, I didn't have a lot of, you know, the earliest product I could get was Revised. About Revised, a little bit of the Dark and Fallen Empires, and, you know, the original Four Horsemen of the Arabian Nights, Legends, Antiquities, and Alpha Beta Unlimited just did not make it to Florida, all the way to the East Coast. It just didn't make it. And I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if this was just something I always had an instinct in my mind where I felt this was going to be a big thing one day. Or it's just something meant to be. I don't know. It's a really nostalgic thing to think about this stuff. That's why you guys see in my videos, I'll make these backgrounds and I'll make these cool things, all this historical things and the history of this stuff. And, you know, there's no way for me to explain to anybody who's just in the Magic the last few years what it's like to run to a bookstore and hope they got more 4th edition or Ice Age booster packs in stock that I could buy for $2.99 a booster pack. There's no way for me, and that was retail, by the way. Wholesale, you could get them for, I don't even know, $1.80 a pack or something. There's no way for me to explain what that feeling was to hop in the back of a car of your parents and just be ripping the packs out and the smell of the ink and to try to get that Royal Assassin or Shivan Dragon or the Greed or Ivory Tower, try to get these 4th edition or revised cards and to just, you know, never seen anything like it before. Because there was never anything before this. There was no historical, you know, track record. There was never any product before Magic. It had never been done. There was no way to even know what it was going to lead to or the reaction of the public. And it was just something that was so unbelievable. And I don't know if today's next generation who's into Magic, glued to smartphones 24/7, attached to all these social media life-draining things that are supposed to make you more social, but actually take away your social skills because you don't do anything in the real world. You see what I'm saying? It's this whole Ready Player One AI you're going to a virtual world because you don't like your real life, you know? It's a very strange thing. Where, you know, ironically, Magic was originally designed to be a underground nerd culture thing. That was the purpose of it, on the backs of the D&D clubs and the groups. And now it's just, it's so far in a weird direction. You know, I guess what makes me wonder is if we fast forward another 20 years, when old man Rudy is just retired, long gone from making videos, you know, there's no YouTube Rudy in 10, 20 years. There's no Patreon 10. I'm done. I'm going to enjoy my life. And relax and just sit on the sidewalk and yell at cars as they speed by with my cane and, just yell at everybody for driving too quick. It just really makes me wonder, where are we going to evolve to next? It really does, everybody, because I would have never seen this coming. To see this culture of how Wizards, like with the Secret Lair recently, it was so successful. I guarantee everybody, I would be willing to bet all the fancy knickknacks on the back of this bookshelf, on this setup, in this office, in this other location. I would be willing to bet you all everything on this shelf. There's going to be more Secret Lair products. Because if I was Wizards, I would continue it and I would run it to the ground. The amount of money they must be making on this stuff is astronomical. And it's a very far cry from when one guy in a minivan drove down the west coast of the United States with a trunk full of booster boxes from like Arabian Nights and tried to sell booster boxes of Arabian Nights and antiquities or whatever down the west coast of the United States out of a van, trying to convince stores to buy it. What an amazing, unpredictable journey to go from that to a multi-billion-dollar brand empire. Absolutely it has got to be one of the most unbelievable stories that just will never get mainstream attention and the real world will never understand. The real world will always consider Magic another investor beanie baby fake thing. And it is just absolutely, it's absolutely mind-blowing. It boggles my brain to think, for those of you who understand the history and how it all got here, you realize that it's not going anywhere. It's not Pogs. This isn't Beanie Babies. This isn't something that's a flash in the pan. People who always say the glory days are over with Magic. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. I don't know. At the same time, we're in a new direction. It's a different type of Magic. The Magic today was not the Magic 5-10 years ago. I mean, post-2013 was a new era of Magic. Pre-2013 was that silver age of Magic. And then there was the garbage where Magic was failing when they released Odyssey and Scourge, and everybody thought Magic was dead between, what was that, like 02 and 06 or something, or 04? And then before that, you had that boom of the beginning 90s. And then after Urza's Mercadian Masks, and you got into that, what was it, like, I don't know, Planescape, Odyssey, and it just started to die again. But it reemerges every time we go through this new direction that nobody knows where it's going to lead. But the only thing that seems certain is that it's going to go somewhere special, unique, and somehow, some way, it always seems to work out. I don't know how, I don't know why, but there is something about this card game that always seems to work out. And I hope some of you out there realize that. No matter how much you like, hate, dislike, love Wizards, the culture, the social media, the politics, everything involved. Somehow, the one thing we all know for a fact is it will evolve again. And Magic just moves on. It's going to be around longer than all of us watching this video now. Just like these videos will be online. And it's absolutely incredible. And I truly think it's not appreciated enough around the world. I know it's a card game, but it really doesn't get the appreciation it deserves. It's incredible.